night, brought to you by ESPN on EA Sports, as we get set for Jose Calderon and the New York Knicks taking on Al Horford and the Atlanta Hawks. As this one gets underway, what's the game plan here for the Knicks?
Kyle Korver is simply the greatest shooter in this century. He can shoot it off the pass as well as anybody who has ever played this NBA game. He can move with great speed, catch, bounce, turn, and knock in threes. I love watching this guy just warm up before the game because he puts on a shooting clinic every night.
Goes to the goal. Chance for a three-point play. Count the basket, and the foul, a block called against Lopez.
That's big-time play right there. Finishing the shot through the contact, and now goes to the free throw line.
Whoops, that won't go. Has to adjust. Nicely done. Touch there, not this time.
Another good offensive possession. Unfortunately, missed the shot.
One of the teams really interested to see how they fare this year is the Atlanta Hawks, Jeff. This is an intriguing team.
I think what Coach Mike Budenholzer did with his team last year and having them play beautiful offensive basketball like the San Antonio Spurs, which he was a longtime assistant for, showed the promise of this team and this organization.
And there's a stoppage in play. The violation is called. 5-second back to the basket.
You don't see that called very often. The Charles Barkley rule to prevent a player from backing down more than 5 seconds. I love this rule, and it's a solid call.
Reverses, and Paul Millsap with a nice shot for two.
That's nice body control right there on that layup. Good finish.
2 minutes gone by in the first. New York's down by 1. Lopez unable to flip it in. Fires from downtown. Lopez the rebound. To the basket, flips it up, nails it. Nice pass to set things up.
For two. The assist from number 9, Kyle O'Quinn.
Shoots the three. He puts it in. Beautiful pass.
The assist from number 0, Jeff.
And that'll do it for the first quarter. The Knicks down by 2. Stay with us for more NBA on ESPN Sunday after the break. Second quarter set to begin. This one a close one. This is exactly what we expected, 2 evenly matched teams.
This has just been a well-played first quarter. I just really like what I'm seeing by both teams.
You know, Jeff, these Hawks have something to prove this year. They just were so banged up in the playoffs we really didn't get to see the real Atlanta Hawks in the postseason.
No, they struggled, and some people predicted that they would because they don't have that elite offensive player that you can go to like LeBron James. And so when they got swept by Cleveland, it was portrayed, well, everyone knew this was going to happen, but I think people overlooked their injuries, and I would expect Atlanta to come back and play better in this year's playoffs.
Number 8, Robin
Teague against Calderon. Oh, great hustle as he looks for the save. Out of bounds. Turnover. Puts it up, deep corner shot, bang, three-pointer. He's 3 for 4 from 3 tonight.
When everybody is involved in touching the ball, like what's happening here in the first half, and you've got your assist total up, then you're going to create also a defensive intensity at the other end of the floor. And that's exactly what has happened here in the first half.
The assist.
Jeff, much of Atlanta's success last season, obviously the way they play team basketball, but the guy that made the team go was Jeff Teague.
Yeah, I think he's really improved. Think about it. A couple years back, he was on the trading block. And then they matched Milwaukee's small offer, and he signed back. And he's developed into a superstar.
The assist from number 15, Al Horford.
Calderon against Teague. Anthony for 2 again here. Unable to flip it in.
Hey, that's good offense. Got the ball in deep into the paint, and they just missed.
Teague. That three-pointer off the mark. Gets a piece of it. Lopez on the drive. There's the whistle. And Robin Lopez will get to the free throw line to shoot. He's shooting 77% this season.
First foul in the final 2 minutes.
Knocks down the first one. Goes 2 for 2 at the line. There's a 1-second differential between the game clock and shot clock. Teague into the front court. Finds a space and takes the wide open three. And Tabo Cephalosha with the play from way downtown. Calderon against Teague. It'll count if it goes. And that'll do it. First half comes to an end. The Knicks down by. And welcome back to Madison Square Garden for the second half, which is just about underway. Along with Jeff Van Gundy, Mike Breen on hand. New York's had an unusual first half. Very poor shooting, but they're still in the game. What gives?
Well, they're being consistent in the areas that you can be consistent. Shooting inherently is going to go up and down, but the other areas they're doing very well.
There's the whistle. Nice job drawing the foul. And Paul Millsap will go to the line again and shoot 2. It's going to be difficult for the Hawks to duplicate last year, Jeff. 60 wins, everything just seemed to fit. But it's still a fun team to watch because they play so well together.
They sure do. Mike Budenholzer has done such an outstanding job in putting his team in position to play well off of each other. Now listen, losing DeMarre Carroll has hurt them, no doubt. But they still have a formidable team led by Jeff Teague and their front line of Paul Millsap and Al Horford.
Afflalo nails it.
Excellent handle right there to create the angle to get to the basket and finish.
To the rim, able to put it in. And Paul Millsap with 8 points.
That's just a nice layup right there.
Jeff Teague. 2 minutes remaining in the third quarter.
Atlanta's leading New York by a score of 22-14. The turnaround jumper. And Robin Lopez with a nice look. Sinks it.
We're seeing a lot of offensive energy on the floor from both of these teams with terrific ball movement.
You know, Jeff, you've mentioned about DeMauri Carroll leaving, but getting Paul Millsap to stay in Atlanta was critical. Boy, has he really become, over the course of his career, one of the better all-around NBA players.
You're right, Mike. Versatile at both ends of the floor. He can post you. He can rebound it. He can stretch you out to the three-point line. And defensively, he's committed. He has turned himself into an all-star caliber player.
Anthony the jumper. That's good. A two-pointer.
Hey, sometimes good offense beats good defense. There's nothing to be ashamed with on that possession. That was a well-defended, well-contested shot.
Teague on the drive, blocked by Lopez. Ball goes out of bounds. Man, what a great game thus far, Jeff. Definitely an entertaining matchup so far.
You can tell both of these teams are completely unselfish with the basketball. Look at the assist total, and you can tell that both teams have learned very well that sharing is the true joy in this game.
Anthony the rebound. He's averaging 6 boards per game this season. Calderon brings it across. Anthony against Cephalosha. Anthony for 2, lets it go. Rebound handled by Korver. At the buzzer. Third quarter in the books. New York's down by 4. Stay tuned for more Sunday Night NBA presented by ESPN and EA Sports after this short break. No one been able to pull away. This fourth quarter is going to be a fun one. What do you think, Jeff?
Well, I just can't wait for it. The first 3 quarters have been outstanding basketball. And now we come down to where you make your money. The money players step forward right now, Mike. We'll see which ones are up to the challenge.
Puts it in. 2-point game.
The assist from
Atlanta's leading New York by a score of 22-20. Horford's looking to operate from down low. Cephalosha jumper. And Robin Lopez with the defensive board. He's averaging 6 boards per game this season. Calderon against Teague.
2 minutes left in the fourth quarter.
Anthony fires away. It's good.
2 points.
Horford against Lopez. Horford fires away. Off balance. Won't go. Anthony on the drive. Inside to the basket. And Atlanta's called for their first team foul. And Carmelo Anthony will go to the line with under a minute and a half to go here in the fourth.
First foul in the last 2 minutes.
And he hits the first free throw. Able to convert on both free throws. Jump hook. That shot won't go.
Hey, that's a tough shot, but I'd rather have a good player taking a bad shot than a bad player taking a good shot.
Throws it down.
Oh, look at the athleticism exploding up to finish with the hammer.
Gets to the rim. Knocks it down. It's a two-point game.
Look, you can't give up layups like that. You got to protect the basket and the paint at all costs.
Anthony has the double team close in. Cephalosha the rebound. And a timeout taken late here in the fourth. Half a minute remains in the game. The Knicks up by 2. Teague on the drive. The shot is blocked.
Are you kidding me? That's the way to protect the basket.
He puts it in. Clutch shot. And Derek Fisher calls time as we wind down here in the fourth quarter.
Coaches get paid to put their teams in position to win. But in the last minute of a game, you've got to come up with the right play call to get your team a quality shot.
Big offensive rebound. Lets it fly. Knocks it down. What a clutch play.
This has turned out to be one of the better games of the season, Mike. They're really getting after each other on both sides of the floor.
Buy one or more tickets before the end of today's game.
The shot for the win. That's it. This one is over. The final score is